But what I think is going to be even more exciting is that I estimate there's going to be a pop on the day that their ticker changes. There's going to be a lot of hype around it. Hey guys, welcome to Dream Coin, where we share how to invest for a better tomorrow. My name's Tyler, and today we're going to be going over CCIV and Fisker, where I see them going over the next couple of weeks with their recent price action, and just some general news that is going on with both of them, more so with Lucid and CCIV's merger. So the first thing I'm going to cover real quick is that Henrik Fisker actually put a video out earlier for the Fisker Ocean, and it looks very clean. I really like how that light up trim that we covered in our last video looks on the car in the dark. I think this is a nice demo of what to expect if you're looking to buy a Fisker Ocean, and this actually ended up causing a jump in the share price earlier too, with people getting more excited about the company and everything, and they actually pushed over $20. I was very high on Fisker even back when all of the EV and SPAC stocks were taking a huge dive, and when they were down trading as low as $9 at one point. They've been on a reversal since around this $10 area. They hit around $10, dipped slightly below it for a couple day period here, and they've already been on an uptrend here where they've been sitting above $12 for a couple days now. I was still very interested in them. I didn't think they lost any steam, and they were obviously playing for the long run anyway, with the Fisker Ocean coming out the end of next year. And so now it's rebounded from those $9 lows over 100%, and I think they've got a huge amount of momentum behind them going into the end of the year. As we look at Fisker's chart over the last while, they've been on literally just a ripping uptrend since about beginning of May, where they hit that area under $10, and since then they hit basically a double bottom over a period of a few days and started their trek up, and they've just been screaming lately. They've been able to attain and stay above a roughly $17 support for a couple weeks now, and this gives me more look into where I think they're going to be going into the end of the year. And on top of everything else, alongside just them rebounding as a company and getting more PR out, they are being added to the Russell 3000 index with all the other stocks that are looking to get added and go into effect on June 28th. And so ETFs and different funds have been slowly investing in them more, giving them more volume than they would typically have had over the last couple weeks otherwise. I think as I see them going towards the end of the year, I could see them continuing this uptrend, probably consolidating around August and June here in that $22 to $25 area. And then as they go through there, I want to see them push more towards that 40 plus area going into December. If they can get there, I think next year is going to be very strong for them with the release of the Fisker Ocean and all of that stuff coming out. And then obviously they're going to be looking to get more of the details on the Ocean and pair and everything like that alongside the launch of the Ocean late next year. Before we get directly into the merger date stuff, I just wanted to touch on some of the new updates for Lucid since the last time I had talked to you guys about them with Fisker. I like comparing both of the companies inside of one video because I do think they're very comparable, especially with how new they are in the space and how they're both trying to get their first vehicles out still. And I think they can both have a significant market share allocated to them that's going to be taken away from Tesla and bigger companies in the future. One of the main developments for Lucid is that they've come out with their Project Gravity that people can start joining the waitlist to reserve. And this is basically going to be more of a comparison to the Fisker Ocean because it's kind of that SUV family style car that's supposed to be long range electric. And so I think this would be more of a direct competitor to go against Fisker in this department versus where their luxury stuff has been in the past, more towards rivaling with Tesla's cars that they have currently. The Gravity does look pretty clean for some of the aesthetics, but it's actually not going to be coming out until 2023, so that's a decent bit away for where it would be actually helping their balance sheet or anything, but it's still cool to see them coming out with new stuff in the pipeline nonetheless. And just earlier today, CCIV actually announced that July 22nd is going to be the official date for the stockholder meeting to vote on the actual merger of CCIV and Lucid Motors. So this is going to be great for getting that process of getting the ticker name changed and everything a lot quicker. My original prediction before was that LCID would be the new ticker name around mid-July most likely, and so that's not too far off from where I was guessing. I don't think they're going to carry it too far into August, if at all, once they get the merger approved. And the CEO of CCIV, Michael Klein, actually commented on this as well and said that they had exceeded their expectations as a company to partner with, and so they're looking into a strong future together as a partnership, which is nice for a vote of confidence going into that vote Lucid also reaffirmed that they have over 10,000 reservations for their Lucid Air EV, which is nice to look at into the future for the future demand of the company in general. And if you've never looked at the Lucid Air before, just to quickly touch on it, it does have an estimated mile range of about 500 miles a charge, and it has a 0 to 60 speed of 2.5 miles per hour. So it just has insane power behind it, and also an efficiency that's great, especially because electric vehicles have been commented on for lacking in mileage. And so a lot of the issue for companies now is to integrate ways to elongate that for people that want to go on longer trips and also be sustainable. As we look over here in the chart on CCIV, I've had a base support since about mid-May of 1707 for where they're riding, and I had a resistance of 25.57 as my rough resistance since mid-May. A pretty decent case where they could hit up to this $35 area where I'm currently showing on the chart with my pointer. This is due to the fact that historically when SPACs go live, the ticker usually shows that, you know, the deal is finalized, and that lines up with, you know, they're changing their ticker as soon as their deal is finalized for their merger and everything. This was all done around the time that I did my last Fisker and CCIV video, which I'll have linked in the cards if you want to check that out. But basically this is starting to buck a long-term trend. It's breaking through this resistance and holding around it, and if it can push a little bit higher, I think it can turn this resistance into a new support for them. As we look at trading days since mid-May on the 5-minute chart, they've had a pretty significant ride up between then and the beginning of June. They settled back down, and then they're rebounding back up to this resistance. So their new support could be sitting somewhere here about 2250 roughly. And especially with the news of the merger vote and everything, that helped with their stock rising today. But what I think is going to be even more exciting is that I estimate there's going to be a pop on the day that their ticker changes. There's going to be a lot of hype around it, and it's going to be like that final confirmation that their merger has gone through. So even though the merger vote will be put through and that will bump the price, I think the actual ticker dropping date will be where we're looking for them. What I'm going to be eyeing between now and then is a possible rise up above $30 to $35 again. This is due to the fact that beginning of June, they were already close to that $28 area, and that was before a lot of the hype was starting to come out more of this actual merger vote and everything. And so we could be seeing a nice rise up slowly to that merger vote, possibly a smaller set off, because a lot of people are anticipating that the merger is going to go through anyway. I don't see too many reasons why it wouldn't. That'd be kind of dumb at this point, in my opinion. Once it settles around that new high, I think that would be 27 to 28 is going to be a new support. And then after it goes there, I'm going to be predicting an uptrend where they go 30 to 35 towards the date that their ticker changes to LCID. That's the direction I'm going to be looking for CCIV. And I think they're sitting in a pretty good spot, especially going into the next year and a half when they get more of their cars out. Like I said, this is my last video that I did on CCIV and Fisker. So if you want to go check that out, make sure you do so. And I'll have a playlist up of my Fisker and CCIV videos together, so you can check them all out, so you can see my analysis since the beginning on where they went. Other than that, that's going to do it for me in this video today, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.